Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the My Tarot Morning Reflection, our daily inventory and chance to check in with the universe. I hope everybody had a glorious day yesterday. Oh man, I hope everybody's day is starting out as bright and sunny as mine. It's I don't see any clouds. And it's springtime, so good morning, Jenny. Yes, the sun is singing, the birds are shining. It is a good morning. So hello, Angelina. Again, thank you all so much. My gosh. So what are we doing this morning? We are doing the My Tarot Morning Reflection. Daily inventory and chance to check in with the universe. You know, I wonder if I'm just a cynic or I don't know how you put it, but I had a discussion. And for some strange reason, I've always had this thing at the back of my head that said no matter how bad things are, it can always get worse. So, and it's because talking to some people, they always are surprised when things keep going south. You know, I mean, we have issues going on in this country and things like that. And I don't know. I guess it's hard to surprise me because I've just always been a cynic, I guess. But I think part of it is in the mornings, it's like doing the meditations. We really are preparing ourselves. So it's not that I look for the worst in human nature or anything or expect it. It's just that, you know, I'm not shocked by the news. I'm not, you know, I mean, it takes a lot to shock me. Maybe that's just because how I was raised or whatever, but I like to think of myself, you know, that that we're girding ourselves, that we are preparing ourselves, that, you know, when you meditate, you know, we're accepting the universe and that small little place we are a little bit more as we look outside of ourselves. So I don't know if that's part of the reason, but I hope it's not just because I'm a cynic. Pragmatic, you know? I mean, we want to do as much of our part as we can, as we're capable of. And sometimes, you know, we're not all going to go out there and run for Congress. Sometimes just letting people know that our philosophies, you know, that can have a positive influence. But yeah, I like pragmatic better. So, with this little morning reflection, what are we doing? Feet flat on the floor. Yeah. Oh, rolling the ankles. But doing the kitty dance. And then checking in with the shoulders. And then the neck. Oh. And listening to the cards like the sounds of the ocean and taking that breath. And getting prepared. You know, part of this is that, you know, with the cards, I mean, it's been over the months since, like, super negative cards or super, you know, since something's popped up. It's, like I said yesterday, it was interesting counting the number of cards that popped up. And it was the Hermit that had popped up 4 times. And then the next after that was the Knight of Wands. And then after that, it was just not a whole lot of, like I say, cards that are associated with negative connotations. So let's see what we have for today, though. Because as I say, no card is all good or all bad. So I am going to make our 3 stacks. each one a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in a multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because this stack will go down one path, this stack will go down a totally different path than this one. And the question is, which path do we want to choose? Today, let's take the top stack, or what I like to think of as things that are right in front of us and we don't even see it. And let's do hour, 3, and 1. And then the exciting part where we flip each card over one at a time, like we're reading the pages of a book, and it's going for the first one. A very pragmatic card. So, court cards. Court cards can be us, could be somebody else, part of the situation, not male or female, masculine energy, feminine energy. The kings are the adulting cards, right? It's a reminder that regardless of how we feel today, we're going to go to work, we're going to do the things we have to do. Kings have to manage the kingdom as well as they can because they are human. And so kings are the element of air. Swords are the element of air. And so here we have this king of swords. And swords are our thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxieties. So combine that with the king. And this is about being clear-sighted, about seeing things for the way they are, about recognizing what's right in front of us and doing, knowing what we should be doing. But I love how she's got the King of Swords sword off at an angle. Because unlike Justice, whose sword is straight up and down, as we know with the king or ourselves, there's we know what we should do, but being the king, sometimes we do what we want. That's why our sword is cocked off a little bit. It's because when we are seeing, and we can be clear-sighted, but we also see through our own ego, our own reflection. Because we are the king, and this is our kingdom, and kings have opinions. I don't care what it says. This is what I want. And sometimes when our swords are at an angle and we're choosing to see things the way we want, sometimes we might interrupt our stability. So coins being home, health, finances, and all the things that keep us grounded. For new people, this is why I always repeat stuff, but when we have one coin, that's great because we're planting a seed around the house. When we have two or choices, fours are like 4 legs on a table, right? Well, as I kind of said, no matter how bad things get, sometimes things just get worse. Well, when you have those 4 coins, 4 legs on a table, nice and stable, something kind of sometimes throws a wrench into it. Sometimes because it's there and we choose not to see it. April 15th is coming up and choosing not to do the taxes, and then at the last minute having to do an extension, or, we see that the roof needs done, but we kind of ignore that for right now. And so it can lead to the 5 of coins, which then leads us to the Page of Wands. So sometimes, me being the king of my little domain here, where I was talking about being quote-unquote pragmatic or cynical, this is reminding me that it's like sometimes we age into our attitudes. I age into my attitudes. It's, I think about how pragmatic I am. Or, my sword is kind of tilted because if because I'm kind of seeing things through my lens. But sometimes we need to be more flexible with our thinking, because sometimes our thinking can also be self-fulfilling prophecies. Our actions can be self-fulfilling prophecies. If we think the roof is going to leak, but we do nothing about it, well, we've proved ourselves right. But then, once we realize, sometimes pain is the motivator. Sometimes that is what we need to be willing to start fresh. The king can be an ego. My kingdom, seeing things my way, which may be not listening to advice or not doing what we know we should. And then we kind of wake up, and then we have the page. And the page in the 1500s are the children of royalty or children of the court. You would send off to another kingdom so that they could learn about the court and everything, because they want to learn to be a knight, and a knight wants to learn to be a king. So when we are a page, we are open to learning. And wands are fire, passion, creativity, and all those things that sometimes get us excited, right? Creativity. Look at this dude. He is just got this staff right here, and he's fascinated by these little sprouts. And it's a reminder that sometimes when we get stuck in our heads, that sometimes we will lead ourselves into a negative situation just because our attitudes or how we react. What's Maureen saying here? Responsibility is a hardship that requires courage and a new way of looking at things. Exactly. So, pain being the motivator sometimes. My way or the highway does not always work. We kind of wake up to a new way of thinking, a new thought. It's like, oh man, okay, I need to just change direction. And this, when we hit the 5 of coins, is about changing direction. So, what is the advice card for today? It's about strength. And it's not about how many pounds can I pick up. It's about the inner strength that we have so that we can recognize, because let's face it, when we are the King of Swords and we know more than other people, and I am the smartest person in the room, then I can lead us right into a situation in my family, with my friend group, with what's going on around us. But it takes courage to say, I am wrong, or I am going in the wrong direction, or asking for help, recognizing any deficiency that we want to hide, and then saying, you know what? I'm going to find that joy again. I am going to take a fresh look and see what I need to do so that maybe I can walk back into that king's role and maybe try and recognize what I've learned. But it takes strength to have humility. It takes strength to recognize maybe we're going in the wrong direction. So today, it's about analyzing the direction we're going and our thoughts. And is it leading us towards some kind of unhealthy direction, like depression or even physical? It might eating badly because, I'd rather watch TV and eat popcorn than do something healthy like going out and looking at a tree that's blooming. So it takes effort and strength just to get up and go look at a tree bloom instead of watching TV. So today, what healthy activity can we do so that we don't have to just stay or fall into the 5 of coins. With that today, I hope everybody has that amazing day. I hope the rest of the evening, if wherever you are, is evening, and I will be back here again tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and thanks again.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes